I now call this regular meeting of the Davenport Community School District Board of Directors to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Director Hayes, would you please read our mission and vision statements?
I will be happy to. Davenport Community School District is dedicated to growing excellence in academics, the arts, and athletics in every child by ensuring the highest quality education in an environment shaped by our diverse community, preparing our students to be lifelong learners and productive citizens. Education that challenges conventional thinking, prepares all students to compete in a global society, and inspires our students, parents, staff, and community to answer the question, what if?
Thank you. Director Klein-Jerome, would you please read the guiding principles?
Opportunity. We provide abundant opportunities to empower students to reach their full potential academically, creatively, and socially. Collaboration. We foster an environment that allows students, families, and community stakeholders to come together for the betterment of our students' education and future. Transparency. We share relevant and important information with our students, families, and the community to maintain open and productive communication.
Thank you. Superintendent Schneckloff, would you please read the goals?
Today we're working on Goal 2, increase access and success for all students.
Thank you. Up first, we have a presentation for career and academic planning. I will turn it over to the superintendent.
So as Allie makes her way up here, she wanted to share with us our cool banners for each one of our programs. And so I actually kind of like how they set up and block all the other chairs. Plus, they're a nice background for our student board members. So thank you for taking the time to put together a presentation for us, Allie, and also thank you for setting these awesome banners up to display just what we have available in our district. So thank you, Allie.
Yeah, we just got these in today, and so we thought it would be really cool just to share with everybody. We use the old ones a lot, so we're really excited to have kind of updated ones with new logos and making sure that they're all aligned. So I am here to talk to you about our district career and academic plan. Like you said, my name is Allie Vandermind. I am a curriculum specialist here with Davenport Schools. I oversee our career and technical education programs, concurrent enrollment, and PE and health. So just going to scroll through this. A career and academic plan is established under the Iowa Administrative Code 281-49, and we are required to establish a team to develop written career guidance plan, which is reviewed and revised annually. This is our roadmap for implementation for career and academic planning process and how we should provide a living context for how we support each student's planning process. This plan is submitted and reviewed by the Regional Planning Partnership. The Regional Planning Partnership is a part of our AEA. Our career and academic plan team is chaired by myself and includes 3 high school administrators, a CTE teacher from the high school, a non-CTE teacher from the middle school, a special education teacher, a counselor from each level. We have 3 high school, 1 middle school, and 1 elementary. Our work-based learning coordinator, 2 high school students, our future ready coach, an ILD, and the director of learning and results. The DCAP, or the District Career and Academic Plan, must include a career information system. We got lots of acronyms for you tonight. I hope you enjoy all of our fun acronyms that best meets the needs of the students. This CIS must have the capability of delivering all of the components of the ICAP and can only be selected from a very small list from the Department of Education. So you all know, we selected Zello as our career information system. This is reviewed by the team yearly on whether or not we feel that Zello is meeting the goals and needs of our students. So we're going to go through some highlights of our district career and academic plan, but I would like to just kind of pause for a second and say that these are the highlights, so it's not the whole entire plan. Most of these lessons are put out through Zello. So there are 5 essential components to what's called the DCAP, or District Career and Academic Plan. And you're going to kind of hear me use DCAP and ICAP somewhat interchangeably. The DCAP is the district plan. The ICAP is this individual student's plan, so kind of their product of what they do. So our first component is called self-understanding, and students engage in developmentally appropriate inventories, assessments that promote self-understanding, connection to work, and engage in meaningful reflective activities about the results. For this component in K-8, we use the second step curriculum, and then additionally, so 7 and 8 kind of get an overlap here. So in 7-12, we use the Zello curriculum to implement this. Essential component number 2 is career information. Students shall research careers based on self-understanding results and engage in meaningful reflection about those findings. In PK8, students become aware of career opportunities within their subject curriculum. So during science time, they're talking about engineering, agricultural, energy, manufacturing, and STEM cluster careers. In reading, they're discussing computer science, education, architecture and construction, and hospitality and tourism. We have those things specifically called out throughout their curriculum. And in social studies, they're talking about the human services, health science, law and public safety, and government and public administration career clusters. In 8th grade, so 8th grade is kind of like our big year. It's kind of the one it is the one that is reported to the state. So you're gonna see 8th grade called out a couple of times. 8th graders identify their career cluster preference with their counselor. This can be seen by the guardian in Infinite Campus under More and Career Goal, and it is updated yearly hereafter should the student decide to change. If this is a CTE, CAA, or dual enrollment pathway, a program flag is added to the student's campus to ensure that they're scheduled appropriately. Our third component is career exploration experiences. This includes students engaging in activities that do have connections among the school-based instruction, career clusters, and the world of work, and engage in meaningful reflection. We talk about this a lot in our work-based learning meetings where it's not worth anything if the students are not reflecting on what they're doing, right? We can send them out into the workforce all day long, but they need to be really reflective of what's going on and how they can be better employees. In K-8, we have what are called grade level outreach experience trips, in which the students have careers highlighted in the community while they are out and about. In kindergarten, they go to the Davenport Junior Theater. In 1st grade, they go to the Davenport Public Library, as well as the Family Museum, really exploring how communities function. 2nd grade, they go to WAPSI, River Environmental Education Center. Students experience the life of an ecologist. 3rd grade, it's Ag in the Classroom, where they get to experience 8 stations of agriculture and the differences between those jobs. 4th grade is the Putnam Museum and Science Center. As the students explore the museum, they learn about sociology and what goes on behind the scenes of a museum to coordinate and decide on exhibits. They also are able to experience the Quad Cities Symphony. Students get to have a backstage experience with each of the different musician types. They'll experience a coherent storyline of what it means to be a member of the symphony. 5th grade, they go on the River Currents tour, and students experience the end results of being an artist at both the Figge Art Museum and how to express themselves through music at RME. I guess it's now the Current. They also get to experience Junior Achievement BizTown. Students experience many different careers it takes to keep a town running. In 6th grade, they go to the Mississippi Watershed Tour, where students experience weather, NOAA, and ecological, DNR, jobs in this day-long experience on Credit Island. In 7th grade, they have the John Deere Career Expo, as well as the Auto Show. And in 8th grade, they go to JA Inspire. And I just really want to highlight what JA Inspire is. It was a new trip that we did this year. Students get to experience all 16 of the career clusters with local businesses and industry partners in a career fair event. More than 120 career partners were at this event with hands-on activities for all of the students. It was by far and away one of our most highly rated events that we've done all year. So this is just some pictures from that event from all of our different students. So every 8th grader went to that. Essential component number 4 is post-secondary exploration. So students shall engage in activities to explore relevant post-secondary education and training options related to career interests and engage in meaningful reflection on the exploration experience. In 8th grade, they begin to create their 4-year high school plan. During this process, they make decisions about what classes they will take each year of high school. This is all available to guardians via parent portal and must be approved by their guardian. We have to report this number of students. This is a reported state metric. For the last 2 years, we've had 100% of our 8th graders completing their 4-year plans. We've only had to report it for the last 2 years, so that's all I have data for. Essential component number 5 then is our career and post-secondary decision. Students shall complete relevant activities to meet their post-secondary goals consistent with their ICAP and stated post-secondary intention. Students have one-on-one meetings with their counselors about post-secondary plans. Seniors and guardians are invited to participate in multiple FAFSA nights at each one of their schools. And we have multiple signing days to celebrate student choice, including college, career, military, and fine arts. We have 2 pieces of state data that are reported that come out of this career and academic plan. The first one, like I said, was the 4-year plans that the 8th graders do. And like I said, we've had 100% completion rate. And then we also have the completion rate of our Zello lessons, 8th through 12th grade. So if we look at this for our percentage, so in grade 8, we had 97% of our students complete their Zello lessons. In grade 9, we've had 90. Grade 10, we had 58. Grade 11, 63. And grade 12, 23. And this is last year's data. So this would be 21, 22. As you can see, it does kind of go down as you get older. And so we're excited to see how that data comes out this year. Our future visions and plans of this team for next year, as we continue to see the value and growth of students, we formed a team to really look at what a diploma from Davenport School means and how we'll help our students achieve these envisioned realities each step of the way. I don't have much more to report on that, just that we've formed a team and we're really looking at how that looks. So like I said, what questions do you have?
Director Beck.
First of all, thank you. 2 questions. So I know high school course planning is falls under CTE, and having a guardian sign off on the registration is super awesome. But in my experience, we haven't done that for 7th grade registration or 8th grade registration. And so it's like the kid comes home and is like, I registered for this stuff. And you're like, can we have a conversation about that? No, I already read, anyway, it all works out. But I'm wondering if maybe making, and especially when 6th grade moves back to junior high, if that could be incorporated into it as well. And I don't know if it would be easiest to fall under your purview as part of a CTE because it's planning, or if that would be something else that would need to be done. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I'd have to refer to Superintendent Schneckloth on that.
Yeah.
I'm making a note of it, Al.
Okay.
I'll follow up.
Okay, thank you. And then my other question kind of is for our student board members, but maybe for you also. When you mentioned the low completion rates of the Zello curriculum, I guess, what is the Zello curriculum exactly, and why were you guys all giggling about that back there?
I'll let them answer.
We're all seniors, so we were kind of just joking about, oh yay, we're number 1, let's go. But also, I don't know if this is just implemented, but it's become, or has already been, in which case I'm confused because it seems like most of us have, but it has become a requirement to opt out of 5th block to have your Zello completed, and that is, I think, enforced correctly. So I wouldn't be shocked if this year it went way up, so they actually put an incentive for doing it now. I don't know why it does it the way it did, but I'm betting you're going to see a huge spike in in the 12th grade results this year.
The Zello is like, I think for seniors, it's a bunch of career planning. And I think part of the reason it's so low is a lot of the seniors know what they want to do. And so it's less beneficial for them in the sense. But we were just giggling because Zello is like when you get deposits, do your Zello or pause, or that's what we call it. RTI. They're like, do your Zello. You got to do your Zello. Senioritis is hitting hard.
And I'll add to that real quick. Sorry. That I think for a lot of people, a lot of seniors, hearing "do your Zello" is kind of the next best thing since "clean your room." That kind of gives you an idea of what goes through some of our heads. I'm proud to have mine done, but I'll
be honest and blunt with you. Most of us simply don't want to do it. but I would say most of us maybe don't see the usefulness in it. That said, it's a really easy and simple thing to do. You sit down for maybe, if you're really behind, maybe an hour. If you're like really behind, you sit down for an hour tops, right? And you do a couple lessons, and it's really easy. It's like asking you about what you want to do with your life. And for many people, that's a pretty easy question to attempt to answer. So personally, I think Zello is great. I think we should maybe try getting kids to care more about it.
Yeah, I'll shut up after this, but yeah, kind of what he said. I knew what I wanted to do well before 12th grade, and the reason why I bring up the incentive of opting out is because that probably is the only reason I even did Zello. So, I don't know if there's anything that could be done about the boredom factor, but it would be nice to kind of see something where it's like maybe have an assignment that a student could do that's like, if they already know what they want to do out of high school, have some kind of assignment they can complete showing that they have a coherent path. If they are unwilling or unable to do it, then make them do Zello lessons. Otherwise, if they know what they're doing, why retrain them, I guess, is how I see it.
Director Poston.
The participation in the student-built home has been going down, and I understand the instructor is going to retire. So are there anything in place as far as trying to get more participation, and then as far as getting a new instructor?
So I can add the update to that. Allie and I discussed that today. I'll put that in our Friday report. Right now, the enrollments into that period are up, and the position is posted. But I'll add more information in the Friday report around student built home.
Director Potts.
Are you aware, or do you know, is the state doing any sort of follow-up or assessment of this entire package to determine its effectiveness? Is it, what impact is it having? What follow-through? I mean, because this is a lot of time, a lot of effort. With all these field trips, it's a lot of buses. That's a lot of money. And I would like to think that somebody is, not necessarily at our level, but somebody is assessing the effectiveness of this, and does it have the efficacy that it's, desired to have?
Yeah, so we do actually follow students 6 years after graduation. The goal is to increase students having a degree, diploma, or certificate within 6 years of graduation. And so the whole idea behind this is really to be able to track that and see that. And we do have some data on that, but obviously since it's 6 years after, we only have 1 or 2 years of data since we haven't been tracking that long.
Judging by the fidelity with which seniors are doing this, post high school, the return may not be that great.
We did get eyes on our data. I don't currently have it. They haven't given it to us yet. They just gave it to us in a presentation, but I'm sure I can send it to the superintendent.
The AEA collects all the data on that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I believe there was a presentation Tuesday night at the AEA board meeting about that.
Yep.
And you can trying to remember exactly how it was, but they had like a bar graph with how many, and they follow like your construction ones. It only counts if it is a Department of Labor accredited apprenticeship program.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you just told little Johnny, hey, let's go do this, those don't count, but they do follow a lot of those kids.
It also, the sharing across state lines is also really complicated. They have to agree to share, and as somebody who sits on a state border, our numbers, if anybody goes to work in Illinois, which John Deere is in Illinois, it does create some kerfuffle.
Jackson.
So, two quick things. One is a question for you. You mentioned the 6-year tracking of students. How is that actually like accomplished?
I have no idea.
Oh, fair enough.
So
The state does it.
there is a national clearinghouse for any certificated program, and it can actually track anything except for maybe military service. So those students that go into military doesn't do that. So the AEA has somebody who analyzes post-secondary data. His name's Davenport, and he has a very comprehensive dashboard, and it can filter like this. If a student takes the ACT, fills out the FAFSA, their likelihood of getting to and through a certificated program almost doubles. So those are indicators for us to know, hey, we need to give our students every opportunity to fill out the FAFSA and take the ACT. And so that post-secondary readiness data is actually collected on a national level and can have access to it. So those are the outcomes that we have, and it's everything from what President Goza talked about to University of Iowa degree.
Awesome. Just wanted to also mention quickly, with the 8th grade, I forgot the exact name for it, but the 8th grade like career fair kind of trip. I was very happy because this year me along with Doyle Massey at West I had a CTE sign up for students. So after they had gotten a good look through the programs that they were interested in, they could sign up for that career path at their high school right there at the event. So I didn't see that mentioned. I think that was a really important part of it too, is that you weren't allowed to leave and forget about it. If you had it in your head, you could commit right then and there, and I think that was pretty cool.
Thank you. Any other student board members want to ask anything? Okay. I have a couple. How many students could each one of these facilitate? Like, how many kids can sign up for each one of these pathways? I mean, obviously you can only take so many freshman year, or if it starts in 8th grade, 9th grade, and I'm just curious how many kids can sign up for that, and then how many carry on. Is it I think you said 12th grade is when they start trickling off. Is there like a certain point, and it might be a little too early to tell, but what's the point when we start losing them that we need to put the resources in to keep them?
We've had a lot of discussions as a CTE team about this particular issue, because we do find, we would love to keep every single student from freshman all the way up to our capstone courses, and where are we losing them? And so we are discussing ways to kind of find that a better balance and trying to find and continue recruiting students all the way through. I couldn't give you exact numbers for what the capacity would be.
Okay. And then I guess my other question along those lines, I'm assuming some of them probably take some of those classes and realize, hey, this isn't for me, and now I'm going to do something different. At what point is it too late for them to get into another pathway?
I would argue that it's never too late as long as you're in Davenport schools. Being able to switch between pathways is really important to us, because we map to the community college and we map straight into the universities, right? So all of our pathways do have to have something after us in order to get into. So if you decide your senior year that you suddenly want to be a welder, you're more than welcome to take our basic MIG and stick welding, and then we map you straight into the Belong Technology Center with EICC, and you can do their program right after that.
Awesome. I totally forgot the other one I was going to ask. And I know you said you guys the team was talking about it. Is it more beneficial to try, obviously, get them in the junior high to figure out if that's the correct pathway for them, and then they'll potentially not so much see it all the way through, but that's what they're geared toward? I mean, obviously, when you're a kid, you want to be something, and then when you get, into junior high, you want to be something else, and then when you get to high school, you want to be something else.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we really want to have those glow trips and those career experiences kind of as early as we can, so they get to experience more and kind of try things out for size as they are younger. Because I mean, we would like them to take our full pathway. We have a full pathway for a reason.
Okay. And kind of along the lines of what Director Potts was saying, it is a lot of field trips and bus trips, but that is awesome for them to see that firsthand and see if that is something that they want to pursue. Or where sometimes just because you read about something doesn't necessarily mean that that's something you want to do unless you physically see it and kind of get to interact with it. So, and I think you should shamelessly plug yourself that no one does it better than Davenport and how much stuff we offer.
That is completely true, and I do all the time when I'm on with the other UEN districts.
Perfect. Does anyone have any other questions? Thank you very, very much for the awesome presentation, and keep up the great work. I love seeing our kids getting involved with this and sticking with it. No recognition. Student board reports. You can start at whatever end of the table you want.
All right, on North Side. So this Saturday is prom, and so we've got prom court nominees. We thought it would be nice to just kind of honor their names here. So for queen candidates, we have Autumn Benson, Vivian Bondi, Aaliyah Flores, Emma Duran, Kalana Phillips, Nazaria Robinson Wyatt, Jasmine Sullivan, and Taylor Westerfield.
And then for our king candidates, we have Michael Burhanke, Landon Freeman, Colton Kelly, Nolan Mosier, Caitlin Paw, Kamarion Rush, Isaac Tot-Balden, and Michael Yule. And then for our prom events, we have our Spirit Week themes, which today was PJ. Tomorrow is going to be Jersey versus Jersey Shore. On Wednesdays, we wear pink. Throwback Thursday, and then the theme of our prom is Greek gardens, so we'll be doing Greek life Friday. Tonight in the gym, we're having a Hercules movie night to get everyone excited. We'll be having a dodgeball tournament on Wednesday, and then prom is Saturday from 7 to 10 at the River Center, and then our after prom will be with, I know for sure Central's involved, the TBK. After prom with Central will be 11 to 2 at the TBK.
We've had a lot of really exciting volunteer experiences over the past week or so. Joy Club members with Kids Against Hunger on Friday packed 4,000 meals. Despite having the day off, we also had many seniors participating, so it was a very special moment. And those meals go to something like 65 countries. So it was really great for our kids to be a part of that. We also had our green team. We distributed 100 trees to offset a portion of North's carbon footprint through an organization called Treeplenish. So that was a blast. We also had a few members helping out at Living Lands and Waters warehouse over in Moline, wrapping trees. This previous week, I was there like 3 different days. It was a blast, and we did a lot of tree wrapping, probably close to 500 all together as a team. So it was really great, and nearly 20 hours of volunteer work combined last week alone.
And then over at the Fine Arts, we had a lot of our students attended the solo ensemble contest at West 2 weekends ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. It's choral, band, and orchestra. We had so many people participated, a bunch of duets, solos, groups, and a lot of great scores, a lot of Division 1s and 2s. And then our show choir, after a month-long break, has started with auditions, so jumping right back into it. We had so many people audition, and we are so excited to have a big prep group and varsity group this year, and we're excited to see what the next year holds. Thank you.
So our art program right now is doing really well, and 3 of our art students have received the $12,000 Brand Bouchard scholarships. Their names are Tara Smith, Laurel Hines, and Destiny Dixon. And then Yesenia Chavez received an honorable mention scholarship as well. So that's super cool for them. And then both of Central's chamber orchestras received Division I ratings at Solo Fest, and we had tons of other musical performances as well that did super well. And the rest of our music programs are busy preparing for our last few concerts of the year, which is kind of bittersweet. Beyond our art programs, our spring sports have been enjoying their seasons, with our girls' soccer team winning their last game 6-1, and we're super proud of them. And then our other sports teams have also been doing super well this year. And then in case any of you have high schoolers interested in cheer, Central's cheer team is holding tryouts soon, and I encourage you to check out their social media accounts for more information. Thank you.
All right, and then over on the west side, we are also having our prom this Saturday. It'll be at the Starlight Ballroom at the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds, and then our post prom is going to be at Fun Station. It's at 400 South 14th Avenue in Eldridge. It's basically a trampoline park. I'm unfortunately not going to be able to make it to prom this year, but I know a lot of my friends are very excited to go, and I think it's going to be a ball. Get it? Starlight Ballroom? That was horrible. I then wanted to give a shout out to 2 teachers over at West. First off, our geometry and calculus teacher, Miss Gussie, who is unfortunately going to be leaving at the end of this year. She was my calculus teacher, amazing teacher, made one of the most painful classes that any human could ever put themselves through not that terrible, and she's been very helpful in lead up because we have AP exams coming up for me this May 8th and 10th. So well wishes to her. And then a shout out to Jessica Goschel, I never learned how to say her name, who was awarded B100's Teacher of the Week. So big shout outs to her. And that's all I got for you guys today.
Thank you, student board members. We always love hearing your perspective on things that are going on in your school. I am glad to hear that there is an actual day for pajama day, because when I drop my daughter off, sometimes I feel like it's every day. Board reports. Does anyone have any board reports? Director Beck?
Well, I know at least one of mine is going to overlap with Director Poston. Central's Performing Arts Group, Blue Devil Productions, did Rock of Ages, the musical, last weekend. And I went on Saturday night with my son, who loved it, although was super embarrassed because I kept singing along to all the songs because it's all 80s rock. But it was a really good performance. We have some very, very talented students in the district, and it was a good time.
Thank you. Director Poston?
I attended both the Central and West musicals, and as Director Beck said, just a beautiful showcase of talent, and just shout out to all the time and effort that those students put into those 2 events. Also attended the transition event for those families being affected by closing and changing of boundaries. I want to thank the staff for putting that event together.
Thank you. Director Kleintrum?
I also attended West High's musical Freaky Friday, and we have very talented students out there. I also was at the transition event. I think it was very well done. It was nice to see a number of families reaching out to their new buildings. I also attended the Jessie Day Relays, and Virginia Wayne, who is Jessie Day's daughter, turned 95 that day, and their family made a $2,000 contribution to support the Jessie Day Relay. So that was cool to see.
Thank you. Are there any other board reports? All right. We will move on to communications. Open forum. Open forum is a time for members of the community to give input at a board meeting regarding school district issues or concerns. Individuals who want to speak, please fill out an open forum request and give it to the board secretary prior to open forum. The form is available in hard copy for in-person attendees or on the school board page of the district's website for those who want to participate virtually. Virtual participants must email their request to Brenda T at tbrin@davenportschools.org by 3 p.m. on the day of the board meeting. The board will not act on any issue presented during open forum if it was not published as an agenda item. Iowa open meetings laws prohibit action on any issue that is not on the agenda. The president may set the amount of time allowed for individuals to speak. The board asks that no charges or complaints be made against individual employees of the district or community. Remarks that reflect negatively on the character or motives of any person will be called out of order. You will be asked to state your name and home address prior to making remarks. And we have one tonight. Reuben Moore Jr., step up to the mic and we'll do 2 minutes.
You can hear me now? And I came tonight to ask you guys to help. I'm in charge of the QC United's Peach Purple Bowl Swinging Education. We've been around 23 years. We've given over $190,000 away. We're a very small organization. There's only 3 of us. And we put this on every year. We try to stay within the city. So most of our kids that go to college, we send them to Scott, Blackhawk, Ambrose, Augustana. Those schools help us with the kids getting the scholarships. So if you went to Ambrose College, we give you $1,000, they give you $3,000. It's going to be $4,000. So after the pandemic, our numbers started going down a little bit. So I wanted to come and see if I can get you guys to get the information out for us, so we can let people know. We're not asking you to do anything, but get the information out. If you want to play, come and play. But it's a great tournament. It's been 23 years we've been here. Our sponsors are Famous Days, American Water Company, Smart Toyota. It's been a very successful thing with us. We've taken kids on trips with the money from this. We've done a lot of things in the community. The community likes the program. Peter Purple Bull, in case you know who he is, he's the bullying bull. You know, for Pete's sake, don't bully. So he goes around to different schools and tell you about bullying and how not to bully and what you should not do to be bullying, which we like that idea. We take them to grade schools, we take them to high schools. So our golf tournament raises a lot of money for kids to go to school. We're real proud of that. We have over 65% of our kids graduated. How we know that? Ambrose College tells us, Blackhawk College tells us they keep the numbers of our kids. And when they go in there, they might get a small portion right now, but Ambrose loves to give extra money to our kids. So if you go to Ambrose College or you go to Scott Community College and you need a little more help, they will help you out because you're with Peter Purple Bull's scholarship program. So the only thing I'd like for you guys to do, if you can do it, is get the information out there for us so everybody know about the golf tournament. This year we got a lot of people from West going to the golf tournament because they know anything about it. So now I want to make sure everybody knows about it. That's basically all I have to say, unless you got any questions for me.
So we can't ask questions because we can't interact because it wasn't on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
But while you got the microphone on, will you please state your name and address?
My name is Reuben Moore Jr. My address is 4874 Bald Eagle Court, Bendorf, Iowa. I've been in the school district for 28 and a half years. As you look on the table, you have some of the information in front of you. So anytime you want to ask any questions or talk to me about anything, you can just call me, or you can go right on. The email is www.qcunited.org. Any questions you want to ask about anything, just go right to that. You'll get an answer back. It has all the information you need on it. It tells you how to register, what you can do to register, the whole 9 yards. Is that it? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. We appreciate the public's input at board meetings. We will move on to consent agenda. May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Mr. President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board accept the consent agenda as written.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Director Potts. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Superintendent report. Committee reports. The Data Wall Ad Hoc Committee.
We have a tentative meeting scheduled for this Friday.
Okay. Finance Committee.
Yeah, Kevin will be presenting here shortly.
Okay, thank you. Legislative advocacy, nothing at this time.
We have a meeting scheduled for Walnut Mayor.
Okay. Did you send me a calendar invite?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect. LZAC.
I wasn't able to go.
We had a meeting last week, and we reviewed all of the feedback that the board gave to the LZAC committee, and we are putting together a plan for next year.
Thank you. You want to give a report on that?
I sure will.
All right, the long-range facility planning.
There appears to be some snafus with our calendar invites, as we had a long-range facility meeting last Friday, and it was not on Dan's calendar as we looked, and so we will be rescheduling that meeting.
Thank you. Policy Committee.
We met. We're getting down to the end. We just have a few policies to go over. There's some that we'll vote on tonight.
Thank you. I will go back into the Finance Committee, and I'll turn it over to Director Possum, who's the chair of the committee.
Tonight we're gonna go over the key measures in the monthly fund report for the end of March. We'll start with the monthly fund report, if we could, Brenda. We're 3/4 of the way through the year. 3 short months, we'll be done with the year, believe it or not. This is kind of a broken record for us, but things are starting to come into shape, and you can kind of see how it compares to 22. We're almost got a full year in there. I highlighted the federal revenue because we're up by almost $2 million. We emphasize what's changed with ESSER funds. In FY22, we had $3.5 million of revenue. In FY23, we have $5.9 million of revenue. So that's a little bit of how much it got kind of kicked up a little bit for FY23. Those are the same revenues from last month because we get reimbursed on a quarterly basis. So the report is through for March. We probably won't get paid until May for the third quarter of the year. So you'll probably see the same number when we end April. So everything else on the revenue side looks pretty consistent. On the expenditure side, I highlighted the salaries and benefits, and really you could highlight everything because ESSER, to continue with what's happened on the expense side, in FY22, we had $6.6 million of ESSER expenditures. That would be spread through every one of those categories of expenditures. In FY23, we have spent $11.1 million. So that difference of about $5.5 million is spread throughout. But you'll notice in our expenditures, we're only approximately $3 million, just shy of $3 million of more expenditures. So we're comparatively from year to year, we're doing very well. The reason I highlighted the salaries and benefits is that also has a large factor of our vacancies that we had throughout the year. So you can see why the benefits are lower and the salaries are almost a dead heat from last year to this year. We expected that to be more. We wanted that to be more, but that's where those fall. And on the surplus deficit, again, that deficit will be corrected when we see our April report, because that's when we receive our second half of our property taxes. Every year that is down, but you'll see in total, when you look at our ending fund balance, our ending fund balance is growing. I highlighted the negatives on the management fund and the PEPL fund as well, but that follows suit with property tax as well, since both of those are property tax funded. Any questions on the monthly report? Then going to the key measures report, if you will, please. This is the same thing's happening here. There's vacancies, but you'll see that our UAB is growing to just over about 10.5% is what we're projecting. That's really good, but it's on the backs of having vacancies. But we're in a ratio that's still acceptable, as well as the unspent budget, the amount, that 91.2% of spend. We talk a lot about leveling of, not having that below. We wish that was a lot higher, so we are close to 100%, but we will get there. We'll see what next year holds. This is also why when we did our budget, and we'll talk if we get to talking about it in our budget, but I mentioned it last time when I presented it, our cash reserve could not be as high going into next year. That's because our solvency is growing, and you'll see how high our solvency is growing there at approximately 26.8%. I did not highlight that, but that is why we cannot cash reserve as much. It will lower our tax rate, but that's where that falls, and you can kind of see where that's playing out. And on page 2, I always watch this at the bottom because that's where we look at if we need to amend a budget. You'll notice you don't have an amended budget for FY23. That's because these 4 numbers were holding below what we had published last year. So as of now, we do not need to amend a budget for 23. Questions on that?
I do have a question, and I don't know. With putting together the budget and things like that, and then with the like the tax cuts and stuff that the legislature is doing, how is that going to affect us? Because a majority of our funding is from taxes, and I know tax assessment values are going way high because you got to be able to supplement somewhere, because I mean you got to get the money from somewhere.
You'll see the tax assessment not on the 24 budget, but you'll see on the 25 budget because everything's 1 year in arrears. Okay. So that's one point. Second point, when you look at when we get to the next agenda item on FY24 budget, you'll see that our state aid went up by over $3 million. So there's some balance going in there. One of the changes that's happening if it goes through is to reduce the base levy from 540 to 440, and the state picking up the difference. You're going to see the state aid grow quite a bit because they'll still get us up to the 89.5%, or what, I can't remember exactly what that number is, but to get us to that amount per pupil, that's something, the burden that the state will have to carry. So you'll see that increase, but the property tax decrease. Okay. So that dollar is going to be coming off.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, I get it with the numbers. I just wonder that'll probably affect supplemental state aid in future years because they'll say we're giving you more money for to shore up that 80. And I don't remember exactly what it is either, but I know what you're talking about.
It very well could. It also, there could be an impact too with how the state can afford it when they reduce income taxes. That's part of monies in their coffers that they pay to cities, counties, and schools. So that's going to play an impact as well.
Okay. It's too early to tell on that.
It's too early to tell right now.
Thank you. Any other questions? Director Posh.
Kevin, you might also mention our discussion on some of the audit follow-up.
Yeah, we discussed several items on the audit. One of the things that we try and do is keep the Finance Committee abreast of the main comments that we've had from the audit in FY22. It comes so late in the year that it's January before we know. So we've been, between January and now, we've been working on implementing some things that will help clear those audits. We don't get told this is exactly what you need to do, but we put measures in place. For example, on our accounts receivable, we're following a set schedule to get things posted timely that we weren't doing as consistently. So we're having a calendar where we follow those postings. It affects everything in here because if it's not posted, you won't see it here. So that's been implemented and we're following a schedule. A deeper review of outstanding receivables by myself is happening. And a system there was 2 or 3 repeated food service comments between the food service department and accounting. We're doing some matching and some checks and balances every single month between those. So that's also occurring.
Any other questions? Thank you very much for the very detailed report. We will move on to items requiring action. May I have a motion on subject 10.01, North High Gym's floor refinishing?
Mr. President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board approve the North High Large Gym sand and refinish and small gym refinish project in the amount of $30,950 from ASP Sports Floors.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. The motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. May I have a motion on subject 10.02, West High School Auditorium Lighting Project?
Mr. President,
Director Poston.
move the board approve awarding the West High Auditorium Lighting Project to the lowest responsive bidder, Kohler Electric, in the amount of $88,780.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. May I have a motion on subject 10.03, Central High School Walk-in Freezer Project?
Mr. President,
Director Potts.
I move the board approve the Central High School walk-in freezer project to the lowest responsive bidder, Crawford Company, in the amount of $55,600.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. May I have a motion on subject 10.04, Buffalo School Sign?
Mr. President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve this contract with Acme Sign Company for the school sign at Buffalo in the amount of $49,781, of which $19,639 will be funded through the Buffalo PTA, with the remaining balance funded through PEPL.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ayes have it. May I have a motion on subject 10.05, Riverbend Transit Contract Extension?
Mr. President,
Director Gordon.
recommend the board approve a 3-year contract extension to the contract with Riverbend Transit for specialized school bus transportation services for fiscal years 2023-24, 2024-25, 2025-26 for the estimated amounts listed in the contract.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. May I have a motion on subject 10.06, adoption of multi-jurisdictional local hazard mitigation plan?
Mr. President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve and adopt the Scott County Multi-Jurisdictional Local Hazard Mitigation Plan. This plan document will be adopted in the final format approved by FEMA, with its official date of approval being the date of the FEMA letter of approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Motion carries. May I have a motion on subject 10.07, approve fiscal year 2024 budget?
Mr. President,
Director Poston.
move the board adopt and certify the budget and tax levy rate for the 2023-24 fiscal year as published and presented. The proposed property tax levy rate per 1,000 taxable valuation will be $14.99, and resources and requirements are estimated at $432,703.73.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that, I'm going to do a roll call vote on this one. Director Poston,
Yes.
Director Klein Jerome,
Yes.
Director Potts,
Yes.
Director Gordon,
Yes.
Director Hayes,
Yes.
Director Beck.
Yes.
My vote is yes. Motion carries. May I have a motion on subject 10.08, model classroom technology?
Mr. President,
Director Gordon.
recommend the board approve the following state contract vendors for updating classroom technology for the fall term 2023. CDWG for tablets and moderators, $265,000, $633.50. FinTie for hand grips, $8,800. Midwest Computer Products for projectors and sound enhancement systems and dry erase boards, $1,555,220, for a total of $1,829,653.50.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Director Beck.
Yeah, I guess I don't remember seeing this before. Did we see this before and I missed it?
So this is very similar to the Chromebooks. So all of these products in here have gone out for what we're utilizing the state bid system. And what we're doing is we're essentially upgrading what we've already approved. So, for example, our projectors, our tablets, all of those different things. So, essentially what we're doing is we're re-upping on those. So, that's why this is kind of moving forward the way it is without a discussion and action. Plus, where we sit right now, the timeliness of getting this all finished and completed is pretty important. And it was in this week's Friday report to kind of describe that process. Yeah.
I did see that. Shoot, what was my question? Oh yeah. Can you explain a little bit about this? I guess I don't really understand what the state contract vendors idea is compared to other ways of bidding for projects. Sorry, Gary.
The state has gone out to bid to try and improve the financial ability for schools across the state to get the best pricing they can get. Right, so they've got all these vendors who come in and say, I'll supply this product at this price and that product at that price, and I'll get it to the schools. And it saves an enormous amount of paperwork and time invested for the things that are kind of stock and trade, things that we buy on a regular basis, that type of thing. So in doing this, they've already gone through a big bid process and gotten the best prices they can on that. Now, Davenport has usually gone to the RFQ process. So because of our scale, we can usually command better prices than even the state can get. And what we've discovered is we can get those same prices because they'll reduce the prices that they had given the state to give those to us as well. So it's a win-win for us. And with the window that we've got, this is really a fantastic opportunity for us.
Thank you.
Director Passion.
So are we on a really tight time frame here on this, that we had to act rather than having a discussion on this and not coming through the Friday report?
Yes, it was in, this one was in the Friday report, and coming through this discussion, yes, we are on a tight timeline. A lot of this upgrade comes from the voice of our teachers through the field test and through our pilot. And many of you that visit our classrooms, our displaying technology really needs an upgrade. And so Gary and his team have been working to really put forth the best product. So yes, I would say that's a fair assessment, Director Poster.
Director Klein-Jerome.
This includes all elementary buildings, correct? Does it include preschools?
I'm not familiar with the buildings. I think Hayes is the only preschool outside of Hoover and...
Well, Children's Village.
I'm having a little...
The Children's Village. You know, over... off Division.
We haven't included those in this round.
They are included in this?
Not the preschools.
Okay. That's...
Okay. Sorry about that.
Director Beck.
I actually, it went right out my brain when I was listening to that. Sorry. If it comes back, I'll ask.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry. How realistic is it that we will actually have this done before August 23rd?
I would give it probably 85-95% completion rate at this point in time.
Okay.
We've got several vendors who are very interested in doing the construction work for us.
Okay.
And we've also considered the option of breaking the opportunity across those vendors. So we've got a lot of people who can do the work simultaneously in all of our buildings. And so I'm optimistic at this point that we can hit our targets.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. May I have a motion on subject 10.09 policies for board approval?
Mr. President,
Director Klein-Jerome.
I move the board approve the following policies: 304.02, 403.05, 501.10, 501.23, 503.05, 505.09, 505.12, 505.17, 506.01, and 601.05.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
The motion's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye. Oh, Director Passion.
On policy 501.10, truancy. So when I read through this policy, I don't see anything that puts any teeth in it as far as the truancy or absences. For my own consideration, I consider it worthless. I think we need to put some teeth into it. Obviously, we all know that absenteeism is terrible in the district right now, and has been for some time. So to me, this does nothing as far as helping with truancy.
Do you want us to pull this and redo this policy then, or?
I would like to see something that has more teeth in it. And as far as a suggestion, I don't have one. Well, I have a couple, but I don't think they'll fly. So
well,
wouldn't
the disciplinary action fall under the regs so that there will be something that'll have teeth in it that would explain what the disciplinary action for truancy would be?
You excuse me, you said that would fall under what?
Under the administrative regulations.
Okay.
That the superintendent and his group will write.
Okay.
For clarification, are you good with all of the policies? Do you want that one pulled or? Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ayes have it, motion carries. Looks like no discussion items tonight. Administrative reports.
Not this time.
Board requests. None at this time. Board reflections, we'll start with Director Beck.
I really enjoyed the career and academic planning presentation. It's something that I don't have a lot of experience with, and so it's good to hear about what's going on and what the students are doing at each level to make that plan. The signs are fantastic, but I also really enjoy seeing our student board members tell us about what's going on with their schools and also be brutally honest with us about their opinions about school stuff, which is why they're here. So.
Thank you. Director Poston.
I'd just like to make a shout out to Kevin and his staff for the work they're doing as far as our finances. I appreciate his expertise and the due diligence that he has with our finances. So I appreciate what they're doing.
Thank you, Director Hayes.
I would like to echo what's been said already. Again, thanks to Kevin, from where we were a few years ago to now where we are. It's a big change, and what a relief for being where we are. And I, too, appreciate the candidness of our seniors to say exactly what was on their mind.
Director Gordon.
Yeah, ditto to all of that.
Thank you, Director Potts.
I think the career and academic vision that was good to know. It's because it's a pretty elaborate process that's K through 12, and we have very few programs or introduced goals and programs that span K-12. I'm also thrilled that the Acme Sign Company is still in business and Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner live again. Meep, meep.
Thank you, Director Potts. Director Kleindero.
I also appreciate the fact that the student board members are not afraid to tell us how it really is, because it's a perspective that none of us here has. Also, the fact that students are seeing that volunteerism and out there volunteering is important. I think that's great.
Thank you. Superintendent Schneckloff.
So I'm very excited about the model classroom technology, and I think it's I think it's a sign of things to come. This board and administration are incredibly dedicated to putting the tools in our teachers' hands, and this is a sign of that. I'm very excited about what's to come, and this is a sign of that. These projectors are just like this, and they're crystal clear, and they'll last so much longer. The whiteboards are going to be bigger. We're going to be putting new furniture in a lot of our classrooms. We're looking at upgrading a lot of our curriculum, and so that push for spending dollars like that amount inside of our classroom is very evident, and that's the direction that the board's given us, and I'm very excited about that. And this is an example of that, the commitment to improving our environments for our students.
Thank you. I'm just going to say ditto to what everybody else said. And Director Potts, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.